Okay guys, I am here making this video because I'm engaged. Yay! Yeah, I'm so excited to make this video. I want to make this video to give tips on how to plan a wedding, fabulous wedding on a budget, because that is definitely my intention and my plan, and I've done, y'all know me, a lot of research to make sure I can get this wedding on budget, which is our budget, meaning, staying within our personal budget, and not spend a lot of money, because I want to buy a house after this. I want to have a baby after this wedding, and it's just a party. So but I also want it to be fabulous because I'm fabulous. So, we got to figure it out. We got to work it out. And if you're watching because you're engaged, congratulations, girl or guy. Hey. And I'm wishing you lots of love, and I hope this video helps you save money. So I have still about 6 months left. So I'm going to share what I've done so far, and then I'll do follow-up videos to continue updating you guys about the journey of me saving money. Again, I was running from the camera and doing a lot of stuff before pressing record, so I'm out of breath. But I also wanted to make this video because I want to look back at it and be able to see myself right before I was engaged and how excited I was. And I think it's going to be cool to have this video and kind of document this. And I'm also going to document my DIY projects for the wedding, so you guys will be able to see exactly how I'm making the things I'm going to talk about. Well, I'll talk about some of them, but more so right now I'm just talking about the initial ways to save money. So like when you first get engaged or up until 6 months. So here we go. And then afterwards, after I give the tips, just in case you're just here for the tips, at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit vlog style about my experience of being engaged, but I'll start off with the tips. So start planning straight away as soon as you get engaged. I know some people, So a lot of the things I'm going to say is I have a friend that's getting married at the same time. She got engaged like a few months before me. So I learned a lot from her, and we're kind of doing this simultaneously, and we've done a lot of things differently. If you're watching this, sorry girl, but I'm going to use you as an example for a lot of things that I learned from you, thank God. And also just ways that we went about it differently, and things that I learned as a result of doing that. Some things I did differently that I wish I would have done her way, and vice versa. Sorry, girl. So first, one of the things that we did differently, some people tell you just enjoy being engaged for a little while. Don't worry about starting off planning just so soon. Me personally, I've been planning my wedding my whole life in my head, so I was excited to get started. I love doing this type of stuff. Her, on the other hand, it's not really her passion, these types of things. So she did wait a little while, and then the less time you have to plan means the more money you have to spend in a short amount of time. So as soon as you get engaged, doesn't mean that the perfect date that you want is going to be out there and available, especially if you live in a city like Los Angeles. More than likely, you're going to have to fight for that date at that venue. So start immediately planning, going to look at places. Obviously, a lot of videos, if you're watching these videos, are going to tell you to start with the venue, start with your budget. Yeah, I'm not going to really do the obvious tips, but one of the things is to start straight away. Because if you plan on saving money for your wedding, one of the things you're going to sacrifice is time in order to save money. So you sacrifice time to make money. You got to give one of those resources. So if you're not giving money, you're going to have to put in the time. You're going to need time to do the DIY projects. You're going to need time to scout out different prices. That takes a lot of time to compare and contrast, to get quotes. You're going to take time to look at different options. You're going to take time to save money. So start as soon as possible. The other thing is something I learned from my fiance, because he is such a business guy, is negotiate. Never accept the first price. And this is something I'm bad at. Like, we would go to vendors and even venues, and they say, this is the price, this is the thing. You may not always get a lower price, but most of the times they're going to throw in something either for free or extra people. Like our venue, once we did negotiation, they increased the number of people that we could have. Every person that we, from our wedding planner to our rentals to our caterer, every place that we've been, we've negotiated, and we've come out of that negotiation. We even negotiated with the reverend. Okay. Sorry, Lord. But you know, when you're on a budget, you can't just accept, oh, this is my price, because these are people that we're dealing with, and they know that they want clients just as much as you want your wedding. So, you know, offer them a counter offer. The least they can do is say no. The most they can do is say no. If they say no, just, you know, either look around or accept it if that's like your favorite place, but it doesn't hurt to ask. I have my little notes here. Third, I would say, remember, this is an industry. The wedding industry is an industry, and it will have you losing your damn mind thinking you got to have this and this and that. You're going to get on Pinterest, and if you haven't started a Pinterest board, you probably will, and you're going to get consumed with all these things that, you know, you probably can't afford, to be honest. Or you're going to have to make yourself or find some way to get it. Even if you can't afford it, a lot of that stuff on there is hard to find. Just remember, this is a business, this is an industry, and you're planning a party. You are planning a party. It is not the end all be all of your life. It doesn't define how fabulous you are. None of that stuff. It is a party. It is like a 5 to 6 hour party. So, you know, just keep that in mind when these vendors are telling you, you got to have this, you got to have that. And it's like, are people really going to notice this? And think about the weddings that you had been to, what you actually noticed and what you didn't notice. There's a lot of stuff that brides spend money on that people don't even see, notice, and you yourself, as I've heard, because I've watched a million of these videos, don't even remember. So just keep that in mind. This is an industry. It's like, how much do you want to support someone's trip to Dubai? Like, think about that, because you don't want to get screwed over. Then I'll talk about search engines. So a lot of these search engines, if you're like the Knot, if you're looking for venues on the Knot, for instance, they are paid by vendors to put people that pay, even if it's not listed as like a sponsored post, the people that pay the Knot get up at the top. So for instance, our venue we found through our wedding planner, and I'll talk about wedding planners in a second, and she was able to tell us that even though we have an amazing venue, they don't even have a picture on the Knot because they just don't want to pay. They don't need to advertise because it's just that amazing. They're not going to pay the Knot. So if I hadn't explored, you know, Yelp and other things, then I wouldn't have found them. Actually, our wedding planner told us about them. But initially, I was just looking on the Knot and Wedding Wire on their like venue search, and was looking at the ones with pictures, because I was like, if the ones that don't have pictures, you know, are they really going to be good? And really, it's all about money. You're going to find a lot of good places, even if it's not on the Knot search engine or the Wedding Wire search engine. So just be open to many different sites, even the ones that don't have pictures. If you're going to use those, check on Yelp, check with your wedding planner. And also look on Wedding Bee. Wedding Bee is like more of a site where brides are on there just talking, sharing all their tips. They're like little maniac brides, like constantly on there. You can find anything, any DIY. I was thinking about making my veil. There's like how to do it, where to find fabrics, like any kind of wedding question you got, those little girls got you covered on there. And also, since we were just mentioning wedding planners, I did a lot of shopping around for wedding planners. And since I already had a vision, I didn't need someone to come in and design my wedding. My design for me is like bomb. I can't wait to share it with you guys. And I didn't really need, what I needed were their resources. Like, they've done this before. I needed them to tell me what pitfalls not to fall into. So I didn't want to do it completely by myself, but I also didn't need my hand to be held and to waste a lot of time, people showing me options and da-da-da-da. It's like, I have Pinterest, I have my brain, I'm good. So my friend who I mentioned, she did the full service wedding planner, which, you know, I was kind of disappointed at first that I didn't do. But then the more and more I hear about people that have done that, her and other people included, it just seems not to be worth it first of all, they don't deliver as much as they promise. At the end of the day, you still have to be really involved because you are making the decisions. You have to go see the venue. You have to go to the tasting. So you have to do all that stuff anyway because you're the one deciding, you're the one tasting. So why are you going to pay somebody to come with you to do those things? So what we did, which I'm really happy we did, is we have a package, and the company we went with is Wish Wonder Dream. They're in Pasadena, and we have amazing wedding planner. Her name is Kat, so look her up if you're in the LA area. And we chose their lowest package, and we went with, they help you in like the first beginning months. So they help you with vendors, they help you look around, they give you like the resources to get yourself started. And then at the end, the last 3 months, they come back in, and of course the day of, and they help you finish up all the last minute details, tie together all the contracts, make sure you have everything in order, tell you what things you forgot. And then you also have access to all their documents, all their timeline plannings, all their checklist, all those sorts of things with this lowest package. And then those middle months, you're just doing kind of the legwork on your own, which was, for us, was perfect. And we saved a lot of money doing that, but we still feel contained. We still feel like we have help. And I still reach out to her like whenever I need help. She answers my emails. She's super friendly, and for us it just works out perfectly. And I haven't seen a scenario where I wished I would have had more help. It's like, she's not going to help me do my DIYs. Like, okay, so I don't need any of that. Moving on. Wholesale. Yes. So I have a tax ID. And even in LA, if you don't have a tax ID, you can go to the design district. There's a dress district where you can find amazing dresses, wedding dresses for like $500. Like, seriously, modern bride. I didn't end up getting a dress there, but they have so many beautiful, like, fashion forward dresses, and they have huge catalogs. So if you don't see anything in the store, or if you come to them with a picture, she can open the catalog and show you what she can order for you. So that's one of the good ones that's downtown. I found my Bridesmaids dresses downtown, amazing prices. And also I'm doing my own flowers. So we have a flower district here in LA. So I'm going to buy the flowers the week of. I'm going to film that so you guys can know how. I don't really like centerpieces that are like, sorry, had some technical difficulties. I don't really like centerpieces that are like those weird stick into the foam things. It just doesn't look natural to me. It just looks kind of corny and cheesy. So I have a whole thing that I'm going to do, and it involves different kinds of vases and some things you probably never would think to put at a wedding, but I'm really excited, and I think it's going to save you money. I'm not going to tell you now because that'll ruin it for my guests that are coming, but I'm really, really excited. I think it's going to look so fabulous. So I'm going to go to the flower district for those, and then for, what else was I talking about? Oh, so even if you don't live in LA, you can have these sort of, I know in Dallas, down in like Harry Hines areas, there's a lot of wholesale like fabric stores. You can maybe find a seamstress. For my dress, and I'll talk about that more at the end, I'm getting it designed, custom made for me in the garment district because I did a lot of shopping for dresses. I couldn't find something that I liked in my price range. So I just said, did some research, found a couple designer. I've seen their work, so I know they're capable of doing it. It's not like I'm ordering it from China. I go every 2 weeks to get fitted. I will link their information down below, and it's been an amazing experience so far, and I'm getting the dress of my dreams in my price range. So you got to also think different avenues, think of different ways to do things. It doesn't mean you have to do everything that they say in the movies that how you're supposed to get married. You can go different routes and save yourself a lot of money, girl. And that's what I'm doing. So having my dress made for me. And then they also have lots of other kinds of wholesale ways you can go about if you don't live in a city where there's like wholesale markets, design districts, flower districts, Costco, flowers. I've seen people on YouTube that have done their own flowers with Costco Flowers has a delivery of bulk flower services that people are using for weddings. And there's also another website that I can't think of now, but if you Google around, that has more options than Costco, but still really good prices. So I talked about the wedding planner. Oh, invitations and save the dates. Oh my God. girl, when you start to see these prices, you will quickly decide to design your own invitations and your save the dates, which is what we did. Let me write a note here. I just thought about something else that I did to save money that I want to talk about. So I designed our save the dates and our invitations, which we haven't sent out yet, on Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop or you don't know how to use it, you can use a website called canva.com, canva.com, and they have all these templates. You can start from scratch. It's very user-friendly sort of version of Photoshop. Design it. You can create any dimensions you like and then have it printed at a printing shop somewhere like U Printing. FedEx you can get printed, but I find them to be a little bit expensive. U Printing or like Vistaprint, you can usually go pick up from their store. You can save on shipping and get a really good price on printing. I saved us like hundreds of dollars so far because the prices that they want for invitations is insane. For the invitations, I did a little more fancy. I had like this tri-fold invitation with a pocket on the side, and I got those envelopes from I think cardsandpockets.com. So you can just design the invitation, stick it onto that, and it looks just as fancy. We're gonna have some like fancy stickers on there, and you can make it look just as fancy for like more than half the cost. Like you're gonna save so much money by designing your own invitations. So that's a good tip. Also, photographers. These wedding photographers. So I used to be a model. Okay. And so I'm not really used to paying people to really take pictures of me. So that was like, when I started looking at the prices, and no shade to photographers, I'm just not used to that. And even people that haven't been in the modeling world, like friends that have started to look at photographers that I know are getting married, are shocked at the prices. I think I got one quote for like $12,000, and I was like, for what? To take pictures at a party and to take pictures of me? Like, I don't know. No. So that was just, I mean, if you have the money, that's a different story. Like, if I was like a million bajillionaire, maybe that wouldn't be so expensive, but it's like, I have things to do after this. I'm not just throwing a party this year. I have them going on, like, I'm not going to tell all my business, but I got a lot of stuff to pay for. So I was like, that's not going to work for me. So I started doing a lot of research, and I came across this girl, Alicia Webster on YouTube, and I was watching her video, and she said she had put out an ad on Craigslist to find her photographer, and I was like, oh my God, that is brilliant. And just speaking of other YouTubers, there's a lot of people that I watch. My two would be Alicia Webster and Christian Bechet, I think is how you pronounce her last name. Their videos are amazing if you want to save money, and especially if you live in a big city. So we put out an ad. We found these amazing photographers that just moved here from out of the country. They have a lot of work under their belt in the country that they're from, which is Russia. But here in LA, they're starting off, so they're offering a really good deal. So I'll link them below too. We got an amazing price. They're super professional, videographer and photographer. They're a married couple, and it's just like so much more affordable, and the pictures are so amazing. You can check it out on my Instagram. I have some pictures of our engagement shoot and the day of. They have their prices on their website, so you can see exactly how much we paid for the engagement shoot. And for the day of wedding, she's coming like an hour or two before, and she's staying the whole night, and so is the videographer, and they're just amazing, and they're a great couple to work with, super professional, and they're both very talented. So set an ad on Craigslist. You're going to get a slew of people responding. Hopefully you've set up a dedicated wedding email to just take all the emails from vendors. And then you can turn the ad off once you found somebody you like. But just say in the ad how much you're willing to pay, what you're willing to negotiate, what you're not willing to negotiate. If you want prints to be included, which we got prints included. So don't go with these first thought, like you go on the Knot and search wedding photographer. Or even on Instagram, I was searching wedding photographer, and the prices were just like, okay. Next, you want to have a wedding binder. Go to Etsy, get you a printable wedding binder. You can use any binder from like, even the dollar store, and then you just print it off from Etsy. There's a lot of different vendors that sell the inserts to print off, that have all the checklists month by month, that have each section of what you need to print off. I don't have my wedding binder in here, but maybe I'll show that in another video. But it's been like amazing. It's been so great. You're gonna need that. I think every bride has that, so you probably already heard about that. As far as a budget, everyone says make a budget, stick to it, but you don't have any idea how expensive this wedding stuff is. So my suggestion, I think this is a pretty good tip, make a budget first. Budget out, price out the two most important things to you and your fiance, and then make your budget according to the rest of that. So you're going to have your overall budget, how much you want to spend. Say you're like the average American couple, they say spends $30K on a wedding, or let's say you want to just spend $15K or $10K, whatever it is. That's your top piece. And then like let's say the venue is most important to him and you are the decoration. So start pricing out those two things. Put those items on your budget and then allocate the rest of the money towards the other things like food, photography, all those sorts of things. But at least you know you can get those two, and you can also see at the beginning a little bit how much things cost and how realistic you can be with the other things like the food and the cake, the photographer, the reverend, all those sorts of things. So you can be more realistic about how much you allocate to each thing, because you'll know realistically how much money you're going to have left after your must-have items, because the rest you can kind of let go of or negotiate or go with something cheaper. And then also for your honeymoon, you want to start looking for that early because tickets get more expensive as time goes by. And we use CostcoTravels.com. We're going to Hawaii. I can't wait. We got an amazing deal, including car, hotel, and flight. And it was just amazing. So if you have a Costco membership, I suggest going to CostcoTravels.com to book your honeymoon. Okay, and then I was just going to say spend time planning the wedding, but also planning what it means to be a wife to you and what that looks like, and planning if you want to get counseling, premarital counseling, or if you want to research more about, what that looks like for you. And I think you should spend just as much time thinking about what it means to be a wife as it means to plan this party, because at the end of the day, the wife part is more important than the party part. I hope. Okay, so those are my tips on planning a wedding on a budget. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience, vlog style. I got engaged in October of 2017, and it was a really happy moment for me because getting emotional. Me and my fiance have been together for almost 5 years at that point. And, I had been wanting to get married since like day one. And we had some differences of perspectives on how fast that should move and what it means to me and what it meant to him. And we really were dedicated to processing all that out before rushing into something that we were just doing because we were supposed to do. So when it did happen, it felt so right because we had spent the time loving each other and processing what it really means to each other, and it just felt so much more meaningful than like forcing it because of what other people wanted us to do or the expectations of the world, or even me just wanting to rush things because my friend got married and this person got married and my grandma was asking me. And when it happened, it was just like such a perfect timing. We were in Palm Springs at the tram rack rail, whatever it's called, Amtrak thing that goes up to the top at Mount Jacinto. Quiet moment by ourselves. A blue jay literally came and sat down next to me after I said yes, and it was like the perfect moment. I also wanted to talk a little bit about picking your bridesmaids. This is something that was difficult for me because I have multiple parts of my life. Like I grew up in Texas, then I lived in Miami, and I was also modeling. So I have people that I went to undergrad with, that I went to school with. I have my modeling friends, I have my Texas friends. Then I moved to LA. I have my LA friends, my grad school friends, I have my family. So I have so many different parts of my life that it was harder than I thought. It was harder than I thought, and I would say my advice would be when it comes to picking bridesmaids, maid of honor, all that stuff, and even inviting people, just follow your heart. Don't let people pressure you into inviting everybody and then they mama and they cousin too or whatever. Don't let people pressure you to be in your bridal party. Don't let people pressure you to be your maid of honor. Like, do what works for you and what you feel in your heart and who you want standing next to you on that day. For me, I chose two of my best friend that one of my best friends that I grew up with, and one of my best friends that I went to college with, because they both served different purposes in my life, and I couldn't imagine being up there one without the other. So I have two, and that's what I want to do. So do you, okay? And we're gonna rock it out and have a lot of good fun. This is kind of long. I'm looking at my microphone, so I'm gonna cut it off right here. But thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm so excited, and I'm so happy that I had a chance to share it with you guys. And comment below if I left out anything that you want more specific details about. Please follow me on Instagram at _Tiffany Shelton and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be filming all my do-it-yourself projects and posting them after the wedding, so subscribe to me and stay tuned. Okay, talk to you later.